Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about people we should give shout outs to in college, because there are a lot of people who we take for granted in college. Number one, that one friend who always goes to class and like literally never misses a beat in taking notes or anything, and the one day that you're just like, oh man, like I'm tired, or oh I'm about to miss class, or I'm gonna be late, and you just don't want to go to class, you just hit them up and you're like, hey, I can't come to class today, do you mind sending me your notes later? And they do it, and the notes are just beautiful. Like, shout out to you, because not only are you taking really good notes and you're gonna ace this class, but you're also being a homie. You're sending your notes that you don't have to your friend. Like, that's pretty awesome. I salute you. I'm sometimes that person, but oftentimes I don't take the best notes, and when people ask me to send them my notes, I have to like actually, like, I pay attention in class, but I have to take meticulous notes. Like, I can't be doing my shorthand notes anymore. So shout out to those people who just take consistently nice notes, and if it's typed, it's like fantastic, because like they just have to send the document. But if it's written, they scan that shit, or like if they don't scan it, they type that shit up. Like, y'all are MVPs of college. Number two, that one friend who always takes awesome notes while in a review session. That person is my favorite person. I love them because, one, sometimes I can't make it because I either have class and it conflicts with it, two, I have a meeting, or three, I have an extracurricular, or four, I just can't make it, honestly. And those are the people who are just really awesome and send me their notes. And I know a lot of people like probably feel the same way about these people who just consistently like take notes and are just really nice about giving them out, because I know we're just all trying to get out of college alive, and I really like when people just like are really nice and just give their notes and are just amazing people, because those are the kind of people that are gonna do great in the world, who just care a lot about other people and like are nice enough to give me their notes. Like, I try to pay it forward. I usually tell people like, oh, if you're ever missing a class, like, or anything, like, I can send you my notes. Like, I've come across a lot of people who I send my notes to, because I take pretty good notes, and I miss a couple days and I ask them to send me those days. Like, it's literally just 2 days, and like they never send it to me, and that really makes me sad, because I work so hard on my notes, and I handwrite my notes more often than not, so having to type those up and then send it to people, to their emails and stuff, and then not really get anything returned, it like makes me sad. So I try to pay it forward. Whenever people give me their notes or anything, I genuinely like appreciate them, and I'm always like, oh, thank you so much, like I really appreciate it. If you need any notes, if you need review session notes, if you like missed one class or you missed a section, like just let me know and I'll send you my notes. Because honestly, the best way to get through college is to be helping each other instead of just being rude to each other, you know? Number three, shout out to the TA, or teaching assistant, for those of you who aren't in college or aren't familiar with that lingo. Shout out to TAs who hold review sessions and basically tell you what's on the exam, because they're actually the ones who edit the exam, not your professor. Your professor just dishes out all of the information that you need, but the TA is the one that makes sure that you said everything or whatever in the exam. And the TAs who tell you what's on the exam, like, oh, like, I don't know what's on the exam, but you should definitely study this, wink wink. I love those TAs, because they not only make my life easier, knowing that like, okay, I don't need to spend like too much time on this concept, but really focus on this. Like, it's really helpful for me, not just to pass the class, not just to get a good grade, but just to know like what important things I should be getting out of this course. Number four, I want to give a shout out to professors who actually care about the big picture and not the meticulous details. Although they are important, they focus more on how those meticulous details like affect or correlate or relate to the bigger picture. So shout out to professors who don't really care so much about the meticulous details and more about the big picture. Because the big picture, in my opinion, is what you need to know the most about a course. I don't need to know what happened in 1892 when this one scientist found this thing and the president did something about it, and we're talking about like something like a meteor. Like, why do I need to know what the president said? Like, this isn't history. Like, you know what I mean? It's just stuff like that that like really irritates me. And I love when professors just like say, oh, fun fact, don't need to know this for the test, but it's a really cool thing to give you a perspective. And they really focus on you knowing the material and not so much the little details. And when they do talk about the little details, they definitely try to connect it to the bigger picture so that you see how that little detail that you probably grazed over while you were reading or looking at the PowerPoint or anything, how that little segment relates to the bigger picture. And that's what I love about professors. I've had professors who are just so genuine and nice and really want you to pass and really want you to understand the concepts rather than testing you and like having their passing rate horrible but knowing that like, oh, it's so horrible because nobody understands. There's a reason why we don't understand, and it's because you're asking questions that we never covered in class. And so I just want to give a shout out to professors who are just awesome and have us focus on the bigger picture and like focus on the concept of the course rather than just like little tiny details that will be tested on. And my last and final shout out is number 5, and that goes to professors once more. I want to give a shout out to professors who don't take attendance or don't require you to go to discussion sections. At my university, we usually have discussion sections because some students need that one-on-one time, and in a big lecture hall where it's 150 to one professor, it's kind of hard to having enough resources accessible to us. And so large lectures, usually like the intro classes like intro to psych or bio or like anything, they usually have more than 100. And oftentimes the lower division classes try to encourage you to go to discussion sections so that you have a more intimate setting where you can ask questions if you're too afraid to ask during lecture or if you just really need that one-on-one time. And I feel like I don't get a lot out of discussion section because it's a lot of questions that other people have that I don't have. And it's not to say that it's a waste of time, but for me it's not beneficial to how I learn. And then adding on to that, just like professors who don't require you to come to class, like don't take attendance or anything, shout out to you guys, because it's always hard when like attendance is 5 or 10% of your grade. Like there are some days where 1, I just can't get to class, 2, I'm too tired, 3, I have an appointment that I could only get at that time because it's in the morning or it's like in the afternoon or something, like, or it's a 3-hour class and I just really don't want to go one week. And so I find it really lame. I don't know, I just don't like being required to go to class because I feel like it's reverting back to high school. Like I feel like I don't have the choice. If I can learn from the book, if I can learn from the material, if I can learn from other people's notes, I shouldn't be penalized for not going to class. So yeah, those are the shout outs I wanted to give people in college. I start college again in about 2 weeks-ish, so this little video just allowed me to remind myself that I'm going back to school soon. But yeah, shout out to those people because you guys make college so much easier, so much more fun, so much more enjoyable, and just like great, honestly. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment below if you have any shout outs you want to give to people in your class, if you're in high school, if you're in college or anything. Leave a shout out below and let me know who you want to give a shout out to, and maybe I will do shout outs for them next week. And if it's not school related, definitely leave some ideas below about who I should give a shout out to next. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Remember to stay humble and peace. I I want to give it